So at the start of the fight, she's gonna immediately charge at you. After I skip the cutscene, she's gonna immediately charge at you and lock on and dash to the left. This is important because it'll allow you to get free 2-3 hits. Now, generally I like mid-stance katana, but it's really your preference on what you want to use. I enjoy mid-stance because it allows me to do decent damage output and still have a fast evasion without sacrificing too much stamina. Of course, high-level play will involve mixing up all three stances on the fly. But as I said, I want this video to be easy to understand, I want it to be basic level, and I want people to formulate their own high-level strats. But first, let's focus on defeating the fight so you can get the DLC content when the game comes out. So let's continue. So you'll notice one thing I'm doing here, I have target locked on, and you notice, and something I've noticed with a lot of people who play this game, is that they mash the evade button. They mash X. There's no need to do that when your character can maintain lock on and sprint. And to sprint, you press and hold X. So you can see here I have target lock engaged, and I'm simply sprinting to the left in one direction, and I'm not doubling back on my route. And if you do this, she really can't hit you on this next attack. So let's take that back, right? So I noticed I have created separation from her, and anytime you're at this distance, she's pretty much going to shoot her purple fireball looking attack that will cause damage and paralysis if it hits you. And if it paralyzes you, she'll generally come in for a follow attack, which causes a lot of damage. So to counter this, you don't really have to evade, you just sprint in one direction. So you can see I'm not evading, I'm just sprinting. Now, the other thing you have to worry about is when she runs towards you, the best thing you can do is simply run away. Again, maintain target lock and sprint in the other direction to maintain distance from her. At which point she'll either attack or disengage. In this case, she disengaged and went back to shooting out her paralysis fireball attack. If you evade that fireball paralysis attack soon enough, you can actually come in and punish. But at this instance, I opted not to because I felt that the distance was still too great and I lost my opportunity. Okay, this attack is the one attack in which sprinting doesn't work. You either have to perform a dodge or you can block it. Now, as long as your character level is around what they suggest, you should be able to block this attack, and at worst, it'll deplete your stamina, but you have plenty of time to recover and evade out before any follow damage occurs. So if this attack is giving you a hard time to evade, understand that you can probably just block it. And her tell for this attack is this. She does a little backflip, watch. Right, did you see that? When she does that little backflip, she's going to charge at you. And again, perform an evasion. Timing is very similar to when you evaded the first boss's attacks where he throws those iron balls at you. Or like you can do what I'm doing in this case, which is I'm just blocking. And of course, punish at this point with a quick 2, 3, 4 attacks. Okay, again, we've separated distance. And once you create this distance, you know that the AI is going to pretty much do one thing, and that's going to shoot those paralysis fireballs. Again, maintain target lock and sprint in one direction. She's running towards me, and like I said, when she runs towards you, you run away. And the reason why is because if she's running towards you and you backdash and you mash backdash, you're probably going to get hit by the spin attack that she's doing right now. But if you're sprinting away, you can tell that the distance is still enough to where her spinning attack doesn't hit me. And you're free for the follow-up. Okay, in this case, it's still the same thing. We've established distance, but instead of being on the ground, she's in the air, and she's going to do the same thing. As long as you maintain sprint in one direction and do not double back, you will not get hit. And the audio is off in this case, but when she shoots that purple fireball paralysis thing, man, I gotta figure out the proper name for that attack. She does this audio telltale where she'll make this huh sound before she does it. So it's really easy to hear, and I suggest plugging in headphones in your PS4 DualShock if for some reason you can't have your volume high on your TV speakers or whatnot. Okay, so in this case, she's sprinting towards me and I'm sprinting away. She went for the grab and I punished. Okay, that's where I do get hit, and the only reason I got hit was because I should have waited a split second longer before coming in. I kind of pushed it, but you can tell sprinting away, you'll never get hit by that twirling attack as long as you're relatively careful and make sure that you let it end. That's the mistake I made right here. I assumed the hitbox, the hurt box, dissipated before earlier than it did, and I just kind of ran into it. But that was a stupid mistake. Okay, right there she did 2 kicks. When she does those kicks, she'll either do 2 kicks, 3 kicks, or a deceptive fourth kick for 4 kicks. You want to be able to don't sort of get too eager because then you'll get hit by the third and fourth kick because you're assuming, oh, she kicked me twice, so I'm good, come in. No, anticipate 4 kicks, and when you realize that she hasn't done 4 or she's completed her attack animation, then punish. But just be careful, it's deceptive. Sometimes she'll kick you 3 times, sometimes she'll kick you 4 times, and don't get caught in it. Okay, she's sprinting towards me and I'm sprinting away. Twirly attack and you punish. Okay, she did 2 kicks at that time and I realized her attack animation was done, so she's only doing 2 kicks and I come in to punish. Okay, she's in the air, so she's going to be doing the same shit she always does. Just sprint and those things won't hit you. Okay, that was interesting. I set up for the block because she did that rush attack, but it never hit me, so, that's a bonus. Once again, she only did 2 kicks. And so you can see at this point, we've pretty much figured out the gameplay loop that consists of this boss fight, right? And you notice that as long as I'm staying mobile and I'm sprinting, she really can't do much. In fact, I think she only really has one attack that can probably hit you while you're sprinting, and that's when she shoots her daggers out and she's in the air. This attack is her weakest attack. You can probably survive it, and if it's a problem, you can block it. It won't. It should not deplete your stamina for a successful block. I mean, at this point, it's elementary, right? I'm just sprinting, and she's not even hitting me. I'm just waiting for her to drop. Block. You see my stamina recovers in plenty of time. When she does that twirl thing, you have to punish. And that's that. Again, I want to stress a couple things. This is not me trying to do some advanced stuff. I'm deliberately trying to keep this simple. Oftentimes, when people want help in certain action games about how to defeat an enemy or a boss, they'll find these really complex YouTube videos where you see extravagant combat and strats and combos and so on and so forth. When ultimately, I think simplicity is the best way to go. You'll notice that I'm not even doing anything spectacular. I'm just doing 2 hit combos, 3 hit combos, mid stance. I'm not worrying, even concerning too much about key pulsing. All that will make you a better player, and you're gonna definitely need to use those strategies on Twilight difficulty. But when you're having a first time encounter with this boss and you're having problems with it, understanding that her paralysis attack is what screws over people the most because she stuns you. She comes up for free follow up hits, 2 3 hits, you're dead. If you can avoid that paralysis attack, your chances of survival is extremely higher. Uh, and if you accidentally make a mistake, know that most of her other attacks are not one-hit kills, and as long as you have a few elixirs, you'll be fine. Um, Let's see if there's. Oh yeah, one more thing. She didn't do one attack in this boss run that I did. It's where she jumps up in the air and throws daggers. But like I said, it generally for sprinting and you're not doubling back, they won't hit you. You can block them, and even if they do hit you, those aren't her most damaging attacks. The other thing is that, of course, there's more advanced strategies. For example, if you perform a headshot when she's floating in the air with a bow or a gun, it causes her significant stamina depletion. And also, when she charges at you with her flying attack, you can actually knock her back, which will stun her. But again, those are advanced strats, and I didn't want to talk about that too much because I don't want to overcomplicate things. So I hope this video was helpful. I think this game is great, and I'm doing this because, I see a lot of people who enjoy this game but struggle with this boss, and I think it's a shame that they can't play through the beta and completion or anticipate the entire game because a boss like this is giving them a hard time. So if you have any other further questions, just leave in the comments. I'll answer them, and I hope you guys enjoy this game.